Hey, welcome back to the shop. Making more progress on the boat. We're dangerously close to a maiden voyage. Thinking maybe in a day or two, but that might be high hope. Anyway, I got the tops on. I'm just about to get ready to give them a quick sand and stain them. I got plywood, 1/4 inch plywood on the top. It ain't perfect. I just used pieces of plywood that I had left over. As you can see over here, my shop has turned into a mess. I've got more scrap wood and everything else, and I mean it's getting bad. It's time to clean up and get this boat out of here. So anyway, off topic, but I used odds and ends of plywood to go around the whole top. So as you can see here, like, would have been nice if this would have come right to the edge, and you know, there's some big gaps and stuff, but it'll be good enough for what I want. And then I had a couple 2x2s left over from when I was doing the floor, and I run them through my table saw and just cut off a 1/2 inch strip and basically made a baseboard or a piece of trim. And I just took my brad nailer. I just started here and put a nail in, pushed it down, put a nail in, pushed it down, and just kept working my way along like that. And it bent, took the curve, and then of course I ran out, so I stopped here. You can see the joint. And then I cut another piece, butted it up tight and glued it. And then I continued on, and again I had to do a joint here. And then here I couldn't make the curve. The wood was about to snap, and I don't have a steam bender or anything like that, and nor do I want to do that. So I just cut it on an angle right here. And then I cut the next piece on the opposite angle, and I overlapped them, and then I put some brad nails in on an angle and glued it. So it should be good. And then yeah, I just come up to the front and made a point right there, just to kind of make it, finish it off type of thing. And then up here you can see I got glue squeezing out here, and all I'm gonna do is take my little grinder and grind all that nice and flat before I stain it. And I think it should look good. It's glue with some sawdust mixed in with it, and I just put it in there to kind of fill the gap a bit. And I think it'll look good enough for what I'm trying to achieve. And I just did this side this morning, so the glue's still a little soft. I won't be able to grind it probably till later today. But I did the same thing here. I actually started at the front on this side, and I put my first nail in right here, and then I just started working my way along towards the back. And of course right here is where I made my first joint. And then I just started with this. The boat had a bit of a sharp angle here. I had a hard time getting this to lay flush, and it still isn't really laying flush, but it's good enough for what I'm going to be using it for. And one more joint here. Same thing on this side with the plywood, but the plywood here is actually the original plywood, and it's still good. There's a little spot here that's chipped away and rotten, but I'm not going to worry about it. I think it gives it a little bit of character and rustic appearance, so I'm just going to leave it. I'm not going to bother replacing the plywood up here. I think it'll last many years the way it is. I got another joint here, and it was kind of an ugly joint, so I filled it with glue and sawdust, and I'll grind that smooth. And I have one that I did grind already over here that I can show you so you can see what those joints look like when they're finished. It is right here. Right here up top, I already ground this one. And I mean, you can tell they're filled, but they turn out pretty good, and they're nice and smooth, so you don't catch your finger on it or get a sliver or anything like that. Yeah, and that's about it for that. So I don't know if you guys seen the floor or not, but might as well give you another look at it. It's Varathaned and all done. I was thinking of giving it another couple coats of Varathane, but I'm probably not going to do that right away. I'll probably end up doing that after the maiden maybe, or I don't want to do it today because if we do decide to go on a maiden voyage, the floor will still be sticky and whatnot. So I'm going to eventually give it a quick sand and a couple more coats of Varathane, but I don't know when it'll be. It might be in the winter time. I don't know. But before we go out in the water, I do have to put a couple coats of Varathane on this wood so it doesn't rot, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal either. And I've sanded it all down with an orbital sander with 80 grit, and it's smooth. It's as good as she's gonna get, so I'm gonna hop to it. Traditional cherry wood it's called, so it's real nice. I like it. It's what I did the floor in. I thought it was awesome, so I'm doing the top in it too. It's a Varathane gel stain. I've used traditional stains like I mentioned in my other staining video. And this gel stain is twice the product. It's way easier to put on. It does a better job. I just highly recommend it if anybody's looking for a decent stain. It's probably good. This is a very time consuming thing, so she'll be a good hour before I get around the whole thing, but I did a little bit. Gives you a good idea of how this is done again and how nice it looks when it's on. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and hopefully the next video you guys are watching is the maiden voyage video. So stay tuned. Thanks for checking out the video.